Hey guys, welcome to this video. I wanted to put together a quick video to talk about how you can use the financial planner that we've put together for you guys to use or to download on our website. So let's get into it. First thing is the instruction sheet. When you download, you'll see that there are these sheets down there. There are these several tabs that you're going to see. So let's start with the instruction sheet. First of all, you don't want to edit anything that has a blue background in any of these sheets. That's where some of the formulas are, so you don't want to touch them. Otherwise, it's going to mess up some of the calculation. All the values that you see or all the cells that you see in a green background, you definitely want to input your values in there, and as we progress in this video you'll see what do I mean by cells that you need to put value in. So make sure you read this instruction sheet because this is what's going to help you determine what to do once you get into the startup cost, the cash flow, and of course the income statement. All right, so let's get into the first step, which is the startup cost. And the way that we've put together this sheet is that you just have to put a couple of input values in this, and once you do that, it's going to spit out some of the numbers that you need in order to have a good financial model or good financial pro forma on your hands. So this one right here, the first thing is the green cell, which is the top one, column A2, which says enter the size of the greenhouse. So you want to put the size of the greenhouse and it'll give you the cost to build that greenhouse built into the system. So for example, let's say that we are building a 5,000 square foot greenhouse. So I want to enter that value and hit enter, and it's going to give me the size or the cost of the greenhouse that's going to be required. It's going to give me the aquaponics system build as well, which is going to have several components like the heating system, the tanks and filtration, circulation and aeration, all the different things. And these costs are based on per square footage cost that we've gathered from the different projects that we've been able to do. That's what you want to look out for. The next thing is enter the down payment percentage. Now this is going to be important for you guys that are getting this or that are writing a business plan for funding your business through a loan. And you want to make sure that you put a down payment. So for example, that we have a 10% down payment, you want to enter that value, and everything else in terms of the funds is going to be calculated based on this 10% value. All right? So the number one thing is knowing the size of your greenhouse and then entering that down payment percentage of the loan that you're going to be taking out. And if you're not taking a loan, you can just put a value of 0 there. So that should not be a problem. All right, guys. And the next thing is I've divided it into several different categories. So if you're buying a piece of land, then you want to put the amount of money that you're going to put into buying or acquiring that land. Then general startup cost is going to be several different factors, but traditionally these are the things that you're going to see: promotional and advertising. This is going to be your marketing, upfront marketing fee, your consulting fee, your legal and accounting fee to set up the businesses, the permits, the different, you're going to need to do some legal work, some lease work, or many of the other things that is going to require that legal fees. Insurance, you're going to need to get a commercial insurance for your business. There's going to be a lot of miscellaneous costs that you don't know. So you want to put in maybe at least a couple $1,000s in there for your miscellaneous as well. If you have rent, you're going to need to put that. So you want to put all the values in here the way that you see fit, and that way all the other values are going to be calculated based on these inputs. So again, remember the green cells are the ones that you need to put the values in. At the end, you're going to get a value of your subtotal. I recommend that you have at least $60,000 of working capital, and then the rest will be calculated right here for you, which is going to be your contribution, which is the 10%, and then the contribution of the bank or the loan that you're going to go out there and get. So this is going to give you your total funding or your total startup cost. This value is then going to be taken automatically into step 2. So let's get into step 2, which is cash flow, year 1. Now the way that this has been designed is that on top here you'll see a sort of a Gantt chart that you can use for scheduling your project. So in here I've used 3 components. Construction. Let's say you're starting construction in November. How long will that construction take? You can add that here so that you can give yourself that 4-month timeline in your project scheduling. The next thing will be seeding. Of course, after construction you're going to be doing seeding for the plants or the crops that you're going to put, you want to account for that. Same thing with harvesting. Now, you can always add in different things here. You can add in things like advertising period. You can add several other factors that you want to build into your system or into your planning when you are doing this financial analysis as well. So it's kind of a nice add-on to have on top of the numbers or on top of the financial analysis that you can get out of this tool. Next thing is here you'll see that you got greens per month. So we've used lettuce heads as the base for all the calculations here. And we've done it by lettuce heads per week, cases per week. Every case has 24 heads, cases per month, and total greens. So this is the numbers that you're going to get over here once you input just very simple three values here in the bottom three cells right here, which is your bed width, your bed length, and your number of beds. For example, if we had a greenhouse that had bed widths that were 8 foot wide, and we had the length of the greenhouse or the length of the beds were as big as the greenhouse, and the greenhouse was about 100 feet. So we would put that value in there. And then the number of beds, let's say we had 4 in the greenhouse. Now what happens here is that if you look here on the top, you will get all the numbers that you need, that based on the information that you just put in, the numbers that you're going to be able to grow. So this is where you know how much can you grow on a week basis, on a monthly basis. How much in total will you be able to grow? You can get those numbers right here by just inputting those three simple values that you obviously know when you're coming up with your aquaponics system. That's again a great thing to have when you want to know exactly how much am I going to be growing. The next thing is you are going to have your cash inflow. So how do you determine your cash inflow? Well, this is the price for each lettuce head that you're going to get in the market. Now, in the market, you're going to have to go out there and research at what price are you going to be able to sell. Here I've just put $1.50, which is an average price that I've seen here in BC, and it's all across Canada that you'll see about the range of $1.50 in the organics market for a lettuce head. So that's the price you want to put. But of course, you want to go out and you want to find out and research what is the price that's going on in the market right now. Once you put that, you will get your cash inflows. Based on these values up here, you're going to get all the numbers. You're going to get your monthly cash inflows from that value that you put in. And as I was saying, it pulls in the values from the previous sheet, which was the startup cost. So you don't have to worry about that. Once you get your startup costs in there, it's going to automatically pull up your startup costs and build it into the financial analysis. And going further down, you're going to see that there is the cash outflow, which will be your variable cost, number one. And how do you calculate your variable cost? Well, you need to know how much is it going to cost you to grow a head of lettuce, and what is the cost of that one unit. So that value is going to be given here based on some historical data from my own operation, my own farm, and the farms of other clients that I've worked with. And that number is going to be added here for you guys to know exactly how much is it going to cost per head. Now that number will be multiplied by the number of heads that you can grow on a timely period, and it's going to give you your cash outflow, your variable cost per head. Now that's only one component of your cost. The next thing is you're going to have to look at your fixed cost. Now this is going to depend on your business and how you run it, and the list of this is going to be it's going to be varied. So you're going to have to come up with a list. But here I give at least 15 different criterias that you can use to determine what are going to be the costs, or what are going to be your fixed costs that's going to come into play into your business. So for example, if you have rent, you got to put your rent in there. It could be as much as $2,000 or even more depending on where you are. So you want to put that rent cost in there. You got your electricity costs. You're going to have your heating costs. You're going to have your insurance and all the other different costs. Here you see fish feed is, I've put in a formula here based on the numbers here below that's going to help you get the fish feed. So you don't have to worry about putting a fish feed number here. So we can make this into a white cell, because you don't have to input any value in here. It's going to be automatically taken care of based on the amount of fish feed. Now, how do you determine this fish feed is the question. I've used the 5-in-1 design calculator, the commercial calculator, to determine this fish feed. There are ways that you can determine this fish feed. Either you can get the calculator and get this fish feed from there, or you can do it yourself manually and put it in there. And once you have that, then you can get all the number that you need. After that, it's just plug and play. You just put in all these numbers and you should be getting a yearly cash flow. And just to keep one thing in mind, guys, is that your cumulative cash flow should not be read. So make sure that when you're planning or when you're doing this financial analysis that you put in enough, or you design your system to have enough capacity that you're always in the positive. I mean, that's the goal of a business, and that's what you want to verify when you're planning this business. If you're starting a greenhouse that is too small and you're seeing red values here, well, that is an opportunity for you to reassess your design and to see if this is going to be a viable system and is it going to bring you enough cash flow to run a successful business. So that's pretty much it about the cash flow. You're going to have step 2, which is cash flow year 2. It's pretty much the same thing. You want to put in the same values. Maybe the next year the wholesale value that you're selling your produce at might go up, so you might want to correct that. Otherwise, all the other values are going to pretty much remain the same, except for perhaps you want to put in an on-site manager the next year, so you want to account for that as well. But that's, it's all plug and play here. Once you put in the numbers, everything else is numbers that gets automatically calculated. And again, you want to make sure that you get numbers here that are not in the negative. Right now we're seeing negative numbers because obviously we have no inputs to the whole system, but you want to put that in just by entering the 3 values that I mentioned before in this table right here. You're going to have year 3, same procedure. You're going to have year 4, which is going to look the same, and you want to do the same things. Depending on your market, things might change in terms of the value that you can bring in, but pretty much everything else is going to remain the same. Lastly, guys, there is the income statement. So once you add in all the values that you need for year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4, you're going to get an automatic table that's going to give you your income statement for all the 4 years based on the values that you've put for your cash flow. And it's going to break it down from revenues, your variable costs, your total cost, your gross margin, your fixed costs, and your general expenses. And of course, at the end, it's going to give you your net profit before tax. And in your tax bracket, you want to put in, depending on where you are, your location, you want to put in what the number for your tax is, or what's the percentage of your tax deduction. And it's going to give you your net profit, which is your income at the end of the year after your tax has been deducted. So again, this is a really useful tool to plan out your business on a financial basis, come up with a really solid pro forma so that you know exactly what's going to happen once you get into running your business. And it is a great tool in addition to the business planner that we have online, because they go hand in hand. If you have the business planner, this tool will really help you solidify the numbers that's required in that business planner. Or if you have this tool, then the business planner is a great complementary tool to take all these numbers, plug it into there, and then have that as a tool to run your business and have that as a guide. So guys, I hope you enjoyed and got value from this video. If you have any questions, please feel free to put it in the comments below, or you can reach us at info@urbanspaceaquaponics.com if you have any questions. And if you like the video, please press like and subscribe to our channel. Hope to see you again soon. Take care for now.